Yo, what's up? It's Khadijah, just coming at y'all with a quick episode. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I'm tired, got a lot going on, but couldn't leave y'all hanging because, it's the MediSyn podcast, and it's actually something I committed to, and I'm gonna keep doing it for y'all, alright? So for those of you who don't know, welcome to MediSyn podcast. MediSyn is a sincere dose of my reality that can potentially aid in the healing of another. The purpose of this podcast is to provide a window into my growth and healing journey with the hope to positively impact someone who feels like they're alone, who questions their thoughts, or who questions their own path. So me, Khadijah, dealing with a little bit of seasonal depression on the onset here. Today I'm recording for y'all. It is September 21st, the first day of autumn, and I am tired. I've been super productive the last couple days, but one thing that I do have to admit is I've been incredibly overwhelmed. So for the last week and a half, I've really been struggling with my sleep. I've been struggling with my focus, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been getting a little bit anxious. My anxiety has been higher than normal, higher than it usually is. I have been doing a lot of breathing exercises, especially when I wake up out of my sleep and I can't get back to sleep. Sometimes I wake up at like 5 o'clock, and I have to be up to take Noah to school. I get up to get him started around 6 something. And then I still, I've been working nights, so it's been rough because I'm not even going to tell y'all all about that. But anyway, I've been using breathing techniques to get back to sleep. One breathing technique, I just felt like it would be helpful if I told y'all about that. One therapist that I went to introduced me to the 4-7-8 breathing technique. So for those of you who are not familiar with that, I want you to know that for me, it really helps me relax. It helps me calm my anxiety, and it really just the focus on the breathing really has a lot of help, a lot of benefits to me. So what I do, I inhale for 4 seconds through my nose, slow 4 seconds. I hold my breath for 7 seconds, so count to 7, and then I exhale for 7 seconds through my mouth. And if I repeat that probably a minute, for a minute, I usually count it. I do it like 3 or 4, maybe 5 times. I promise you, by that time, I'm asleep, or I'm about to go back to sleep, or my heart is no longer racing. And so that's one thing I've been relying on. But the topic of today's episode is really on the Serenity Prayer. Another thing that I've been relying on besides those breathing techniques is prayer. I've been really speaking to God more frequently. I've been thanking Him for what I know is to come, for all that I do have. I've been thanking God for even the adversity that I'm dealing with, that I know that makes me a stronger individual. But I've been going back to the Serenity Prayer, which is something that has a lot of history for me in my life. And I did a little bit of research on the history of the Serenity Prayer, and I felt like, I wonder how many people, I know a lot of people are familiar with it, but I wonder how many people don't know it, and how many people it can help if they really get in their head as something to say and to keep as a reminder of what we're trying to accomplish. So the Serenity Prayer is, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. For me, serenity has always been something that's been big, right? I think it's just that sense of peace. Like, wow, it makes me smile to just think, like, if I have the serenity and the peace, if I can find peace in accepting things I cannot change, and I change the things I can change, right? Then, like, I'm good, right? A lot of people know the Serenity Prayer because it is a part of Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous. It's a really big thing, and I'll share a bit of my background. It's funny. Well, maybe not so funny, but as a child, I used to go with my mom to Narcotics Anonymous or NA meetings. And just so y'all know, I talked to my mom before recording and just cleared this with her and made sure that she was okay with it. My mom didn't really struggle too much with narcotics. She did make it clear that she dibbled and dabbled back then, you know. But the real thing was my mother had addiction issues when it came to alcohol. And she said that she went to Narcotics Anonymous because it was the same 12-step concept, but all her friends were at NA meetings, so that's where she went, right? And I remember that my mom took me to a lot of those NA meetings when I was a child. And I remember specifically they would say, it's like I can remember being in, and for those my Marstonians, it was at no, that's not Kojic. It was at Bethel. They were in the basement, I want to say, of Bethel AME Church in Marstown. And that's crazy because it's like I can see and I can remember sitting in those chairs and they would say, everybody who's been clean for 4 years, stand up. Everybody's been clean for 5 years, stand up. 6 years. Everybody's been clean for 7 years, stand up. And I remember I was 7 years old, so I would stand up and I was so proud. And you would see all the people like smiling and laughing at me. But maybe that is a big reason why I'm so afraid of drugs now. A little childhood trauma that might have helped me out. But you know, that's that part of my history. I grew up hearing this prayer. And it's also interesting, for those who don't know, my father dealt with some addiction issues as well. And due to intravenous drug use or through intravenous drug use, my father contracted HIV and passed away from AIDS when I was 6 years old. And my father gave my mother a plaque that had the Serenity Prayer on it when I was super young. And it's crazy because when I talked to my mom about this episode, she was telling me that she still has that plaque. And I tried to get a picture from her. I tried to get her to take a picture of it in time for me to be able to post the episode. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to get that. But it's just this prayer that's always been a part of my life. And I think it's so valuable, it's so helpful, and I've been clinging to that lately as a resource to really ground myself when that anxiety is acting up and when I'm getting stressed out. So I've been working really hard, I told y'all on the last episode, on a goal that I'm trying to accomplish. And if it falls into the Serenity Prayer, it's something that I can change. And I'm really, really working hard on this goal so that I can change this really one important thing in my life. But I'm like rushing it. And I think that's contributing a lot to that anxiety that I have. And therefore, I have to, one thing that I cannot change is when somebody else is going to call me back, when my goal is going to manifest, because it includes other people and God has his own divine timing. But it is important to me that I clutch to the Serenity Prayer in an effort to keep myself grounded. So I'm doing my breathing exercises. I'm repeating the Serenity Prayer like it's a mantra. I did a little research because I got all excited and I was thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, my this plaque my dad gave to my mom. And I was thinking back to that, you know, those stories of, you know, the basement of Bethlehem Church. And I was like, dang, where did the Serenity Prayer even come from? And you know, I like to have something to share with y'all. So if y'all didn't know about 478, boom, there you go. There's one. But for those who are just interested, the Serenity Prayer, there's the AA or Alcoholics Anonymous website had a history. It looks like somebody tried to go back and find out what the history of the Serenity Prayer was. And it's really interesting me because it seems like it's been somebody's tried to attribute this thing to like everybody. Aristotle, Egyptian hieroglyphs, the Greeks. They started out printing it. They think somebody printed it in an obituary in a newspaper, and that's how it became familiar to somebody at Alcoholics Anonymous. And they started printing it on cards, and you know, all of the people who were in the AA meetings were really, you know, they found this prayer powerful, and so that's how it got so associated with NA and AA. But it sounds like where it landed is that it came from an esteemed theologian named Dr. Reinhold Niebauer. I don't know if I pronounced that right. But I don't know who it came from, to be honest. And I really, quite frankly, don't care. I love this prayer to the point that I can't wait to get this plaque that my father gave to my mother and put it up in my house. And it's something that I'll continue to pray for myself and pray over myself in these next few, weeks and the coming months. And I just want y'all to know that I'm also praying for serenity, courage, strength, wisdom, knowledge and discernment, and just true perseverance for everybody out there. I know so many people are going through so much. And at the end of the day, I am blessed. And I always come back to that. I have a lot of faith. And I hope that you guys listen to this and get something out of it. And yeah, I just want y'all to know I'm out here. And it hasn't been easy, but I'm trudging along. And if you're having some struggles, definitely, y'all know I always say reach out to a mental health professional. But cling to the things that are healthy and important for y'all that help get you through. For me, it's been the meditative breathing, the rhythmic breathing, and it's been prayer. And I just want y'all to know y'all are in my prayers too. So I'll be back at y'all next week. I'm about to go to sleep. Had a long day at work. Cleaned the crib. And it's time to veg out. I'll talk to y'all next week. Peace.